Can alcohol really keep you warm during winter? We've all heard this myth that having a drink or two can help to keep your body warm when it's freezing outside. And with the way alcohol warms you up, you might think that it must be true. But is it really safe to go out drinking during a snowstorm? Or could this belief actually be deadly? To understand how alcohol affects your body temperature, we first need to understand what happens when you get cold. When you're cold, your body does a few things to try and bring its temperature back up to normal. First, your brain tells your muscles to start shivering. This is called shivering thermogenesis, and it's essentially just a really fast, involuntary workout for your muscles. All that extra work generates heat, which helps to bring your body temperature back up. Second, your brain signals the adrenal glands to release adrenaline, which increases your heart rate and makes your blood vessels constrict, sending more warm blood to your vital organs. Finally, your brain will also tell your body to stop sweating, since losing water through sweat can only make you colder. Now, let's see what happens when you have a drink or two. As an ingredient, alcohol is a solvent. This means that it can dissolve other substances that are difficult to dissolve in water, like oils and waxes. Your body absorbs alcohol very quickly, and after a drink or two, the alcohol will start making its way from your stomach into your bloodstream. Once there, the alcohol can bind with water molecules, dissolving them and releasing the heat that they were holding on to. So one of the ways that alcohol warms you up is by breaking apart these water molecules and releasing the energy they contain. But alcohol has another trick up its sleeve. It also works as a central nervous system depressant, which means that it slows down the activity of your brain and other parts of your nervous system. So when you drink, alcohol will suppress the signals sent by your brain to generate heat through shivering. And it will block the signals sent by your adrenal glands to increase your heart rate and constrict your blood vessels. So not only does alcohol prevent your body from creating heat, but it also makes your body less efficient at keeping the heat it generates inside. In fact, studies show that people who drank 2 to 4 alcoholic beverages lost almost twice as much body heat as those who didn't drink anything. Now that we know how alcohol affects our bodies, let's go back to the original question. Does this mean that alcohol will actually make you colder? Well, it depends. When you first start drinking, you'll feel warmer because of the heat released by the alcohol. But this is only a short-term effect. And once the alcohol is metabolized, your body will actually start to lose heat faster than normal. Scientists call this the paradoxical undressing effect, and it occurs because of the combination of alcohol's heat-dissipating properties and its ability to lower your body's thermoregulatory set point. In other words, your brain stops working to maintain a high body temperature once you've had a few drinks. So yes, alcohol can make you feel warm, but it's actually increasing the amount of heat you lose rather than decreasing it. A 2009 study published in the Journal of Emergency Medicine found that both vodka and red wine increased heat loss by about 25%. Meanwhile, beer increased heat loss by a whopping 60%. The authors of the study suggest that the higher percentage of water in beer may explain why it causes more heat loss than wine or hard liquor. But all 3 types of alcohol still resulted in significantly more heat being lost from the body compared to drinking non-alcoholic beverages, like water or juice. In addition, a person's size, amount of body fat, and clothing can all influence how much heat they lose while drinking. That said, it's still safe to assume that any kind of alcohol will make you colder in the long run. So it's probably a bad idea to go out drinking during a blizzard. Now, you're probably thinking, well, if alcohol makes me colder, then surely hard liquor is better than beer, since it has less water and will make me colder. But this isn't necessarily true. Studies have shown that hard liquor can actually cause more heat loss per unit of alcohol than beer or wine. One possible explanation is that the ethanol in liquor is absorbed more quickly than the ethanol in beer or wine. And as we mentioned earlier, the warming sensation you feel when you first start drinking comes from the alcohol breaking down water molecules and releasing the heat they contain. So if hard liquor is absorbed more quickly, it should technically release more heat. A 2008 study published in the Annals of Emergency Medicine gave 9 men either 500 milliliters of beer or 100 milliliters of vodka and measured their core body temperatures before and after drinking. The results showed that although the men who drank vodka felt warmer initially, they lost significantly more heat after the experiment ended. On average, the participants who drank vodka lost 3.4 degrees Celsius of core body temperature over the course of the study, whereas the men who drank beer only lost 2.2 degrees Celsius. On top of this, hard liquor can lead to more severe dehydration than beer or wine. This is partly because the ethanol in liquor is more concentrated, so each serving gives you more alcohol per unit volume. But it's also because the ingredients in liquor, like methanol and isopropyl alcohol, aren't as easily broken down by the body. These alcohols can build up in the body and cause serious damage to the kidneys, pancreas, and liver. Severe dehydration can make you feel dizzy and confused, which can increase your risk of falling, especially when combined with the other effects of alcohol, like poor coordination. So now we know that hard liquor doesn't necessarily keep you warmer than beer. But what about mixed drinks? Well, it depends on what kind of mixed drink we're talking about. For example, eggnog contains alcohol, but it also has a lot of dairy products and sugar. These ingredients can help to insulate your body and raise your core body temperature. Eggnog can actually be quite helpful for staying warm during the winter, and it's a good thing too, because it would be pretty hard to stay warm if everyone started drinking straight liquor instead of eggnog. But what about cocktails made with soda or juice? Well, as we mentioned earlier, beer and liquor mixed with carbonated beverages like soda can increase heat loss by up to 60%. The reason for this is that carbon dioxide in soda can diffuse into the bloodstream and lower your blood pH, forcing your body to use up more energy trying to restore the proper pH balance. Meanwhile, cocktails made with fruit juice have a lot of sugar in them. Although sugar can provide a temporary boost of energy, it can also cause blood sugar levels to swing wildly, followed by a crash that leaves you feeling tired and weak. Plus, the high sugar content of fruit juice can actually promote heat loss by increasing the amount of water in your body. Finally, let's talk about hot drinks like coffee and hot chocolate. Hot drinks can help to raise your body temperature, but they won't do much to prevent heat loss. And adding alcohol to hot drinks can make them even less effective at keeping you warm. Researchers at the University of Iowa gave 12 men either 16 ounces of hot water or 16 ounces of hot water with 1.5 ounces of vodka and measured their forearm temperatures before and after drinking. They found that the group that drank vodka and hot water lost significantly more heat from their forearms than the group that drank plain hot water. In general, mixing alcohol with hot drinks seems to counteract the warming effect of the hot liquid, so it might be a good idea to stick with non-alcoholic hot drinks if you're trying to stay warm. Now that you know the science behind how alcohol affects your body temperature, you can decide for yourself whether it's worth risking hypothermia for that extra shot of whiskey. Just remember to stay safe and warm this winter. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and family so they can learn about this fascinating topic as well. And thanks for watching.